fans, it's the one and only Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to the support of my patrons, we're going to be taking a look at the new X-Transbot Master Miniseries Toro, which, as you can see, is their representation of kind of like a masterpiece style Cliffjumper. For the package, you got a really nice artistic image here of Toro there in the front. The side's got a nice image of him in his vehicle mode. The opposite side has a more up-close image of his torso. Bottom here kind of teases their Menasor that they've been working on. And then the top here just has that same kind of X-Transbot mini masterpiece here, whatever. On the back of the package, you kind of have a wire image, which looks really cool, honestly. Almost looks like a real X-ray of the robot. And then you have a tech specs and you have a little bit of a read-up that if you want to read it, if it'll focus, there you go, you can read it right now. But a pretty small package. For comparison, here is next to a Funko Pop figure, so roughly the same exact size. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright, so here we have Toro opened up out of his packaging and obviously in his vehicle mode. Now this is how he comes packaged, so that'll really help you guys out with my transformation instructions. He also does come with this collector card and instruction. The collector card just has that same image that we got on the outer package as well as the instructions, and then the back here has an up-close image of his head, that same bio, and then his tech specs, which are a little bit easier as opposed to the weird kind of G1-ish ones, but really nice kind of plasticky sort of thing. It is what it is, collector cards. Woo! Okay, and then we do get the instruction sheet, which is really very nice. It shows how to use all the different weapons, and I really like the very nice clear and colored transformation instructions. This guy is definitely easier to transform than I thought he would be. I haven't really dealt with X-Transbot a lot. I did get their Apollyon, but if you remember, I just reviewed that and didn't even transform it because it was really difficult to transform. This guy is not. And I know a lot of people out there don't think I like third-party figures. It's just, for me, I'm very, very particular about the ones that I do get. Contrary to a lot of popular opinion out there, I don't get all of my stuff for free. If I'm gonna spend money on it, I have to make sure that I'm gonna like it. And there's a couple different Cliffjumper sort of figures that are out there. This is the one that I ultimately decided on getting because I do think he looks the best. Now, starting off first with his accessories. He comes with a lot. Now, all of these different weapons he's used in one way, shape, or form in an episode of G1. He's got these I don't know, spear things. You can have them as two separate ones, or you can actually take them and combine them right here and have a larger spear. It's just done in this gray plastic, but overall pretty nice. I like that. Then you also do get one of these guns. Again, very simple. You got some black paint on there, but most of it is done in this gray. All the weapons are a little bit different. And like I said, they replicate, certain weapons that he used at different times, and I appreciate that they're including a lot of these. They just tab in there. That popped off. You got another little gun. This looks a little bit more standard for him, but again, mostly this gray. You got a little bit of black right there. I popped this out. I'll put that back in there in a second. This one's a little bit tough. Let me pull this one out. This is his big giant bazooka. I vaguely remember this one being in the very first episode, I want to say. It's tough to get out. It tabs in there very securely. But you do have that. You got a little tripod right there where he can, squat down and then blow things up. So you have that. You got these little teeny tiny ones that have popped off here. Those just store right there. When you come around here and take a look at the front, the neat thing is this doesn't look like that. Where's he at? That original Penny Racer. Well, I mean, it kind of sort of does, but this definitely has a little bit more of a Bumblebee-esque kind of look. This really does a nice job of replicating how the actual car looked. So it doesn't really look like his G1 counterpart. I mean, that's how the toy and even the cartoon looked. This doesn't have that. So this does have a more realistic kind of look, which goes along with what the Takara Masterpiece figures do, recreating very nicely that actual car look. As you can see, we have Bumblebee. I'll do a bit of a comparison later on. But you do have that little scoop thing right there, that these little bits, you got a little indentation and then a little notch right there that you just plug that in there and it just stays on there via friction, so you can use that, or you can do a little antenna right there, and you can have that. Again, I don't remember which episodes they were, but they're there. And this one gets on here really tight. So there we go. This one also has kind of like a silencer sort of look on there, but again, same plastic with the gray and then some black accents throughout the entire thing. You have this section, which comes off and is a blaster that covers up his hand. So I mean, you can see you get a lot of stuff. And then finally, the last one is this piece here. They just tab on there. You can remove this, set that out to the side, and you have this little sled. Again, this is one of the original G1 episodes that it just sits on there via friction, and he can hydroplane across the water. So, I mean, a lot of this stuff is really very cool, and you can see you get a lot of accessories, which is really very nice considering the price on this, which I'll get into in a bit. This is a nice array of accessories, and then they can all be reassembled back on that sled for nice easy storage. Now, taking a look at Toro himself, as I said, this is how the actual Porsche, I forgot what model number is, but he was a Porsche in the cartoon, and this is definitely not how he looked on the show. There's a slight resemblance. Again, bringing in the G1 version, you can see he's got a little bit of a spoiler. You got that kind of going on there. You have that little scoop thing right on the hood section, much like the original one had. And then the little flip out kind of headlights, you have that on there as well. But overall, really nice, real kind of representation of that Porsche. Some nice paint here in the back. You can see it's a different color red. You got a little bit lighter of a red, and then for the taillights, a little bit darker. Then you got the yellow, the reverse, nice black for the bumper. The windshield here, yeah, the whole windshield is a smoky, translucent plastic, so you can kind of see through it. I don't think... Do these actually fold forward? I don't think these move up. I think it's just sculpted in there. That would have been kind of cool if you could actually move those forward, but you got some nice paint for the headlights and such. Doing the comparison, you can see that he is fairly small, comparing him to the masterpiece Bumblebee, so you get kind of an idea, because Bumblebee's a little bit smaller and he's definitely a mini bot, but you can see the scale, I think, works really nicely. I'm trying to remember, but I do think that a Volkswagen Beetle is a little bit smaller than a Porsche, so it's not entirely accurate, although I mean, he is a little bit smaller, but I think that this should be a little bit more small. But I think the robot mode is really where this guy shines. Some nice silver. The tires are plastic, which I like. A lot of third-party companies will feel the need to put rubber tires in there. With my kind of issues with rubber tires, specifically with my masterpiece Optimus Prime, I don't miss rubber tires. I'm perfectly okay with them being plastic. But as you can see, he rolls like he's supposed to, so it's not that big a deal. Now, to transform him, as I said, initially because it was the X-Transbot, I was a little bit nervous about the transformation, but this guy transforms really very easily. First, what you want to do, come around here to the bottom. I don't know how well this is going to come across. Maybe if I zoom in, I could probably show it. You got this little piece right here. It's locking everything together so it doesn't flop around. You need to detach this and literally just hinge this back and around and tuck that right there, just like so. Really very simple. It just, like I said, locks everything. Then take the front section and just lift it up, just like so. Come around here, you can then take this entire back bit will kind of loosen up as well. If I can get it, there you go. Oh, well, you want to fold down the doors, I'm sorry. So fold those little bits down, and then this whole section will flop around to the back just like that. Come around here, you can then split these legs, just like so, and then hinge these out. It's a little bit tricky, but just kind of force that little piece around and then straighten out what's going to become the knee. So again, just fold that over that area and then straighten that all the way out, just like so. Come around here, then you can take these little bits on the hood section, and those will swivel off to the side, and then you can straighten out his foot just like that. Do that on this side as well. Fold the foot off to the side just like that. Hinge this bit down like so. Kind of straighten this out. Kind of make sure that the legs are fairly straight. Come around here to the back, and then you take this section and you fold this in just like that. And, oh well, I should do this as well. Take the tires and tuck those underneath thusly. And that's his legs. Very, very simple, as you can already see. Kind of straighten this out, angle this so that you have a nice kind of clean look for him. Keep these doors out on the outside like that, and then take these hands or arms, and then you fold these down like so. Do that on this side as well. I know some people are going to complain because yes, he does have a faux chest and it's a different color. As you can see, that's blue, whereas this was this smoky color. That doesn't bother me really all that much. I mean, some people say that that's a cheat for the transformation, but I think it creates a more accurate looking robot mode, and I don't mind that at all. Then take these hands, you want to fold these down and then extend this down and then rotate this all the way around like so, and then you bring the hand around like that. So again, bring this piece down, extend the arm, rotate it around like so, and then rotate the hand just like that. Come around here to the back, get this kind of out of the way. You have his head, fold this up. This part can get a little bit annoying, but you can see that he's got two different like little sections. You can see that little gray piece right there. That rotates. In addition, you can see it did it right there. In addition to the head being on a ball joint, also rotating, it kind of messes up some of the articulation if you don't have it lined up properly, so kind of make sure that that stays straight. Take these pieces, you want to rotate these around and then hinge that out. Rotate that around and then bring it out like so. And then take the window on that side, bend that, and do that on the other side as well. And then you take these and you push those into the back section like so. Come around here to this. This part can be a little bit tricky. It's probably the trickiest, but really not that bad. And honestly, like looking at this, people will complain about the backpack, but I think that you could probably take the backpack off and just have that. If you don't ever want to have it in robot mode, you just pop that pin out. But I think that that would look a little bit weird, I guess, but it is what it is. Take this section here, leave this bit up, that will hinge. You want to fold or pop that piece back like so, and then take these tires, fold these in on both sides. Oh well, no, I think you leave it like that. And then this section bends, and it's a little bit tricky to do, but you want to keep the tires kind of position like that. It helps a little bit more if you can reach up here and kind of straighten those to get them to go all the way back, but you want to try to keep them kind of as straight like that as possible. Then take this section, hinge this, that sits right there. This piece will come down, and then as you do it, you have a little gap kind of between the shoulder area and the neck, and you just literally take this and push through there, push it all the way, and it will go over these little nub sections here and will lock into place. So give that a little push, locks it into place, kind of straighten everything out, and when you're done, there you have Toro in his robot mode. And this guy really did turn out terrific. Now, there are some issues, but when you look at him here, this guy looks amazing. The biggest issue is also the biggest part of him, and that is his backpack. A lot of people really don't like this. They have complained about it. It's there. Honestly, from the front though, I think he looks amazing, and I know the argument is like, how many people, I mean, well, even from the back he doesn't look all that bad, but I mean, people are like, well, how many of you display him from the side? Well, probably nobody displays him from the side, but let's be honest, if you're going to display him kind of turn to the side like that, you're going to see it. So, I mean, it's not like it disappears. I'm trying to get this little notch here. I wish I could figure out how to keep this from rotating, but it's there. I mean, there's nothing that you can really do about it. Now, the other thing that I don't like, and like I was talking about, coming in here so that you can see what I was talking about, I don't like that you can see that little gray piece is on a mushroom peg, and that rotates, and then the head itself is also on a ball joint. It tends to mess everything up when I'm trying to rotate it. So it is a bit of a pain to get that straight so that you can articulate it completely, because as you can see, when it's off on the side like that, it doesn't really look down. You have to kind of keep it where it's like there, so you can get a little bit of up and down motion with it. But looking at the head, gorgeous recreation of Cliffjumper. I think that is spot on. Beautiful blue eyes in there. I think that is really very nice. You do have that faux chest here with the little spoiler kind of thing that comes out, much like his original look did. Obviously, does not have an Autobot logo. I'll be able to fix that fairly easily, so that's not that big of a deal. The two different color grays for the arms and the legs really do nicely match the overall character model, and then you have the feet. One thing that you notice though, and I'm fighting with this head. I'm fighting with it. It's just not fun. I'm gonna try gluing that down or something. I don't know. That just doesn't stay around. But there's a similar kind of design of sorts to Masterpiece Bumblebee. And I think that these two look really very, very good together. For some reason, he was all bow-legged. But I think these guys scale very nicely. I think that the overall look is really good. Both have that nice mini-bot aesthetic. Bumblebee does have a backpack, so I mean, it's not as bad as Toro's here, but I mean, both of them still had it. But there's a lot of similarities between these two, and I think that that element with Toro here makes him a lot more enjoyable to transform. I'm a big fan of how this guy turned out. For a comparison to his G1 self, there he is. It's adorable. I think he's so cute. Now, you have all these different guns and things of that nature. I wonder if I can... Is this on a ball joint? I feel like... Oh, what am I... Well, that's a little pin thing here. So, let me see... I wonder, yeah, let me try doing this. Pop that back on there. Hopefully I didn't do anything too terribly bad, but yeah, that's a little bit better. That kind of locks it in there a little bit more, but so now I'm fiddling with it. First guns, I mean, it's personal preference what you really want to use. Let's pull this one out. The fingers open up, and then there's little pinholes kind of in there. Each one has like this little round peg on the handle that you just fit that in there, and then you find that little hole, which is a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be. It doesn't feel like it's lined up proper. Let me... Yeah, I don't know why that's not going down there, but hey, I can kind of still hold it. So let me get that like that. Let me turn his head. I mean, I'm really happy with how this guy turned out. He's fun looking. I mean, really does a great job of looking like Cliffjumper, and I'm honestly very surprised with how great this guy turned. I know, I'm gushing over him. That is a little unfortunate. I don't know why I can't get that to peg in there all that well. That kind of stinks. Let me try another gun, get him to stand there. Let me try this one. See if that's set a little differently. Yeah, for some reason I'm not getting these to line it. Oh no, that one pegged in there pretty decently. So there we go. That works pretty good. But I mean, really very neat. I cannot really fault too much about this, other than the backpack, which yes, it's there. I don't think it's really all that bad honestly. For his articulation, there is that trickiness in that rotated around, so that's stuck now, but you do have that. I wish that would stay in place. I don't know why they needed to put that extra little rotation thing right there. That should be stationary, and then you can kind of waggle it all over. You got ball joints here for the shoulders, nice range of motion there. He rotates on a swivel at the upper part of the bicep. Hinge elbow, the wrists do rotate, and then the hands themselves right here do move in and out. He doesn't rotate. Oh no, oh wow, he does rotate at the waist. I didn't think he did. So you do have waist rotation and also a bit of an ab crunch, which is nice. The hip section here moves forward and back. They move in and out. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh. He technically has two bends at the knee as kind of part of the transformation, so you get a nice range of motion with those legs. And then the ankles do move forward and back, and they also tilt. This one, what's happening? Why is this one not tilting? What did I do? That tilts. That one's not. Why are you not? What did I do? Oh, that's just really stiff. So you can rotate that. That's just a really stiff joint on that one. So you can do splits and things like that. So basically the same articulation that you would get in any masterpiece style figure. I'm loving him. I really am. I'm blown away by how cool this guy looks. The only thing that he's missing is some Autobot logos, which I'll be able to fix fairly easily. Now for his transformation back, first I'm going to rotate his hands around like that, and then rotate this all the way around, and then collapse that up, and then fold these up like so. So have the back of the palm right there, and then collapse, and then rotate up here at the upper section of the arm. Come around here to the back, take this entire back section, kind of lift the head a little and pull all that away just like so. Extend this top section out, and then you can fold these bits out, and then there's little tabs on the side here. You have to kind of lift that up and pull that around, and then fold the tire out just like that. Do that on this side as well. Pull away right here, and then go over this little lip section, fold out that, take the back window, push that down like so, just leave that like that, kind of hanging that down like so. Then take this section, fold this out like that, then reach in here and extend the windows up to their upright location. I would be a little bit concerned about the side view mirrors. Don't put much pressure on there, it's a little bit thin. The overall plastic quality feels really good, but it definitely feels like that would be a little bit thin, so be careful with that. And then just rotate these around, kind of hinge those out like that. Take the head section, fold this down and in like so, fold these up, you got that little hinge, fold this up, and then collapse that down and into that body section. You can take this, you can bring this all the way around, and this will, make sure that you take the fists and bend those forward just like so. Keep that like that, and then you'll have enough clearance to bring this all the way over just like that. Come down here to these legs, fold these pieces out, fold that out. You can rotate the tires here, rotate that. Now before you bring this piece up and around, make sure you collapse the leg. You got a double hinge here. It's a lot like Bumblebee's. Hinge that down, and then you can rotate that, get that out of the way. You can rotate this piece down and around, and then you can spin this around to the top just like that. So again, do that on this side. Hinge this, kind of like Bumblebee's. Rotate this down and around like that, and then you can bring this piece around like that, and then fold that down like that, and then bring these two halves together, give that a little squeeze, kind of squeeze all of this up and in, and then have this like that, and then you can bring these doors up, make sure that stays down, bring these doors up, lock those into place, and then you can Fold this section down, squeeze all of that. And then again, you want to take this little piece. This is a little bit tricky to get out, but fold this piece out and then push it all the way forward. There's a little square hole section right there. You just lock that in like that. Make sure all of this gets squeezed in there nicely. And when you're done, there you have Toro back in his vehicle mode. Super awesome and fun toy. Toro's vehicle mode, well, yeah, it doesn't really look like the cartoon. It does look like that original Porsche and really nicely fits in that masterpiece aesthetic. The one that Takara created in terms of making, accurate looking vehicle modes to their real world counterpart. X-Transbot absolutely did that here. Transformation is fairly simple, but it's very similar to what we got with Bumblebee. You can see a lot of kind of almost same sort of design elements, which probably goes along with what makes this guy fairly easy to transform. And honestly, fun to do. Robot mode though, I think looks amazing. Yes, he does have a bit of a backpack, but to me that's not a deal breaker because everything else on him looks great. In addition to all that, all these accessories that you get really do help round out a terrific release, especially when you look at the price. At $70, everything that you get for that price, I honestly feel is well worth it. And since Takara is dragging their feet and giving us a Cliffjumper, I really think that Toro here does a terrific job of filling that space in your masterpiece display. So, all that being said, if Toro here is a figure that you'd like to add to your collection, he is available right now at Big Bad Toy Store. So, all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on this guy as well as the rest of the wide range of third-party figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Remember, if you like this video, I would really appreciate your support and letting me know by hitting that thumbs up button. It actually does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, welcome. And before you go, make sure you subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you'll get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, now more than ever, it is important to make sure that you're getting those email notifications. We all know just how unreliable that YouTube subscription box is, and the best way to help support my channel and not miss any future reviews of mine is to click on that little bell right below this video and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. Also, a huge shout out to all of my patrons, who through their continued support helps to make reviews like this possible. And finally, remember, the real trouble with the world is too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.